The next heading is the system of hold-ons and the performance of pedagogy of a musical instrument. A couple paragraphs down, the interaction and transcendence of the 5 IPA elements, the mental image of sound, breath, buzz, trumpet, acoustics, and tongue, from hold-on to hold-on, is shown in the graph titled The Upside-Down Pyramid, and that was just a very useful graph showing the transcendent include nature of the basic hold-ons as development occurs. Each time a prospective member student enters the realm of a new community of practice, i.e. going from a primary classical to the primary jazz community of practice, or moving from a primary community of practice subgroups like the big band jazz to the small combo jazz communities of practice, they will have to, knowingly or unknowingly, alter and adapt their IPA elements. Therefore, negotiating the simultaneous membership to more than one community of practice can be troublesome to some prospective member students, as their IPA elements will tend to readjust in accordance to the aesthetics and acoustical requirements of each new community of practice. This simultaneous membership is especially difficult when the communities of practice belong to contrasting genres, e.g. Mexican mariachi and chamber music classical. And then moves on to discussing this, and the heading is Becoming a Member of a Community of Practice in Music. The second paragraph points out, to accelerate and help negotiate the movement upwards of full participation, the prospective member student will summon the help of what will be called in this article a broker teacher. This broker teacher will help bridge the distance between the prospective member students and their chosen community of practice by engaging in a systematic pedagogical approach designed to overcome the obstacles that would keep the prospective member student in the peripheries of their chosen community of practice as permanent amateurs. And let me get out the figures here. Yeah, figure 1 is showing the basic rungs, the basic hold-ons that remain in existence as development continues. And then, of course, the view from each of those rungs disappears or is negated with each higher stage. So, as always happens, it's a ladder climber view type of development. Then the figure 2, obstacles towards full participation, which I think is good. These 2 pedagogical tools used in this systematic pedagogical approach, or the 2 pedagogical tools used in the systematic pedagogical approach, are upward and downward causation. In this article, these terms are synonymous with the science technique, upward causation, and the study of art expression, downward causation, as related to music making. The integration of those 2 pedagogical approaches will be our next subject. In upward causation, prospective member students practice each IPA element one at a time to increase the possibility of success of the end product. In downward causation, prospective member students increase the quality of the end product by imagining a mental conception or imitating a role model of their desired sound, so the quality of the lower IPA elements increase. Although these 2 procedures seem opposites, when we look closer, the 2 work together to overcome performance deficiencies, obstacles, while addressing the 2 different types of training, the expressive and the technical. These 2 types of training are essential for achieving integral performances and for integral brokering teaching. And then that is set out in figure 3. In addition, prospective member students receive feedback as they practice each of the IPA elements in upward causation through 3 performance loops: an open-close hybrid performance loop that will include information about the prospective member student's sound and how it reacted to the member student's acoustical environment, a closed loop that will include information about prospective member students' kinetic movements and a secondary closed loop that will contain information about the prospective member students' muscular activity. And then it continues, an example of upward causation as used during technical training is when a prospective member student has a deficient IPA element, e.g. corrupted breathing, that has to be replaced by a new element, e.g. correct breathing. In this case, the prospective member student will practice that element by using a spirometer or other similar air measuring apparatus while getting feedback from the closed loops to readjust the SRR sequence until that element is corrected and becomes a conditioned reflex or habit. As a result of this correction, the end product, tongued trumpet sound, will improve in quality. Downward causation, as used in expressive training, follows the SRR sequence, but it is not interrupted by sensory system input, as when playing unaccompanied music or solos. And then a few comments about that. Then there you continue. An example of expressive training happens when prospective members' students, who already have a good playing hold-on solidly established, play their repertoire following the mental images of sound as established by high-level performance examples of their community of practice. Another example of expressive training happens when prospective member students imitate their teacher broker as the teacher broker demonstrates a piece of music at a high level. As a result of the high-level demonstration and the successful imitation that follows, the prospective member students' playing, as well as their IPA elements, may increase in quality. This is all very important because it does relate to the community of the adequate. An integral broker teacher will know when to use the technical upward causation, expressive downward causation, or a combination of the two types of training to correct deficiencies, bypass obstacles, based on the developmental needs of each prospective member student. It is from the next paragraph, it is from these performances and concert attendances that prospective member students derive personal meaning by giving coherent shape to the reification of their experience. Their goal as performers will be to recreate this meaning, such as the concept of a beautiful sound, in accordance to the predetermined life conditions of their chosen community of practice during future performances. And that, again, means that they have mastered the injunctions to the point that it brings forth an experience or an illumination that is similar to the group of the adequate that has given them the injunctions. And the way that you determine that is by the third wing, which is listening and seeing, testing, confirmation, or rejection of the experience itself.